like us do, who recognize this as a big problem on the left, but also recognize the horrible stuff that's going on the right. I mean, you were on Joe Rogan a couple of days ago, a week ago, something like that. Got a lot of press, and I'm glad you said what you said, which is, I like Joe, but he has on people who entertain these crazy conspiracy theories and doesn't really push back on them. It's okay to have, I'm a free speech app.
Douglas Murray delivered a searing critique of traditional media at a moment when conspiracy theories dominate online platforms, drawing millions of followers, and amateur historians manipulate the past to serve nationalist narratives. When Murray, a sharp and provocative voice in the culture wars, joined Bill Maher's stage, it was clear the conversation would be anything but ordinary. In a moment that stunned the audience, caught between bursts of applause and stunned silence, Murray did more than debate. He issued a stark warning. He called for a renewed commitment to truth, challenged the unchecked influence of controversial voices on platforms like Joe Rogan's, and reminded everyone that silence in the face of misinformation only fuels the rise of deceptive narratives. This wasn't just a fiery exchange, it was a cultural alarm bell. Watch this powerful clip and prepare to question everything you thought you knew.
Recognize the horrible stuff that's going on the right. I mean, you were on Joe Rogan a couple of days ago, a week ago, something like that. Got a lot of press, and I'm glad you said what you said, which is, I like Joe, but he has on people who entertain these crazy conspiracy theories and doesn't really push back on them. It's okay to have, I'm a free speech absolutist pretty much, but there seems to be no pushback on this. And of course, what's going on in this country, what we're going to probably be talking about here on the panel in a minute, this kind of encroaching fascism. I was using the term slow-moving coup before we got elected the first time.
Well, the right, clearly, it's always interesting to see what happens at the point of victory. What do you do with your victory? And if those people on the American right who are now in the ascendant, if they decide that they want to use their point of victory to, for instance, lie about the origins of the Russia-Ukraine war, or lie about the nature of Hamas, or lie about the state of Israel, or lie about history. The reason I did this pushback was, you just have to. You just have to, in my view. It's basic social hygiene. If you've got somebody who's coming along who pretends to be a historian, who then can always do the thing of saying, oh, I actually don't call myself a historian, it's just other people I allow to call me a historian. I'm not a car mechanic, but if I kept on being introduced as a car mechanic, I would say, oh, no, you got the wrong guy.
A quiet revolution is reshaping the media landscape before our eyes, one that few are willing to confront, except for voices like Douglas Murray and Bill Maher. In a bold and unfiltered segment, they strip away the illusions and say what many won't. Mainstream media is on life support, and alternative media now holds the reins. But here's the twist: they're not cheering. As cable news loses public trust and podcasts become the new prime time, this shift in influence carries a steep price. The traditional safeguards, fact-checkers, editors, gatekeepers have vanished, replaced by individuals with microphones, internet access, and no rules. The implications are profound. Murray and Maher's message is sobering. Congratulations on winning, but the crown you now wear is one of thorns. Power without accountability is a dangerous game. If creators in this new media order can't rise to the responsibility of truth, then their platforms become not champions of free speech, but echo chambers of misinformation and cultural noise. This is not just a change in format, it's a test of integrity.
We're not replacing legacy media, we're just mutating it.
These people that I was trying to call out on Joe's show, they are doing things like Hitler wasn't that much of an anti-Semite. Main problem in the 20th century was Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was the warmonger. Adolf Hitler wanted peace. And look, it's a matter of social hygiene. Don't feed me this shit. And this is all... And there's obviously this crossover between the people who are just trolls. They say this because they think it's really fun to do the Jewish question, to do like a bit of Holocaust denial, a bit of Hitler praise, a bit of Churchill degradation. They think it's kind of funny. What they're watering and what's going to come up underneath them are going to be people who believe this rot. And a lot of people you can clearly see on the right at the moment are very happy if you can denigrate the tradition of Winston Churchill and pretend that Adolf Hitler wasn't so bad, because then you can do things like Christian nationalism. You can do really, really tough nationalist stuff. They basically
And buy Kanye out.
There's a deeper war unfolding beyond media bias and misinformation, one that targets the very foundation of truth itself. In a recent explosive segment with Bill Maher, Douglas Murray doesn't just critique the media landscape. He goes after the root of a growing crisis, the weaponization of history. This isn't about flag-waving patriotism or partisan squabbles over policy. It's about the deliberate rewriting of history to serve ideological ends. From downplaying Hitler's anti-Semitism to branding Winston Churchill as nothing more than a war criminal, this movement cloaks itself in Christian nationalism or red pill truths. It's not fringe anymore. It's a feature of modern online discourse. Spend any time in certain corners of the internet, and the pattern becomes disturbingly clear. A segment of the online right is rebranding historical revisionism as edgy, contrarian thinking. Murray draws a bold line between this trend and internet troll culture. What starts as just a meme or just asking questions turns into algorithm-fed propaganda. Platforms amplify it. Trolls meme it. And slowly, the most grotesque distortions, Holocaust minimization, nationalist mythology, revisionist pseudo-history, find mass audiences. The terrifying part? Some people start to believe it. Murray doesn't soft-pedal the issue. This isn't stupidity or ignorance. It's cultural savagery. And it's spreading across YouTube channels, podcasts, and Twitter feeds that rack up millions of views. What's happening isn't a quirky byproduct of free speech. It's an all-out assault on our shared reality. As Murray warns, this is a cultural crisis, not a niche problem. And here's where the segment takes a darker, more thought-provoking turn. In a society where having a platform equals having power, what does free speech actually mean anymore? Maher and Murray don't dismiss free speech. On the contrary, they defend it. But they also push back on the idea that free speech absolutism means putting a microphone in front of anyone with a Wi-Fi connection and an outrageous opinion. Maher, candid as ever, admits he doesn't invite just anyone onto his show. That's not censorship. It's discernment, and that's the core message. Platforms are not neutral. The people behind them make choices. If you hand your microphone to Holocaust revisionists or conspiracy grifters, you're not fostering a debate. You're legitimizing disinformation. You're not curating truth. You're platforming propaganda. Joe Rogan knows it. So do all content creators, whether they admit it or not. In the post-journalism age, where editors, ombudsmen, and fact-checkers have disappeared, responsibility now lies with the individual. Your platform is your newsroom. Your podcast, your pulpit, and the decisions you make about who gets airtime, that's your editorial standard now. This isn't about cancel culture or gatekeeping in the old elitist sense. It's about social hygiene. A culture that doesn't defend the truth, vigorously, unapologetically, is one that is actively dismantling itself. Murray's warning is loud and clear. If we don't push back against this trend, we're not just losing control of our history, we're letting civilization rot from the inside out. This was more than just a spirited debate. It was a cultural reckoning. And the call to action is not abstract. If you're a podcaster, a YouTuber, a writer, or even just a viewer who shares content, you have a role to play. You're not a passive consumer anymore. You're an amplifier, a curator, a decision maker. So ask yourself, what will you do with the microphone in your hands? If this breakdown helped you cut through the noise, challenge the BS, and think more, critically consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below. This is a space for people who still believe the truth matters. We release new content every week. Turn on your notifications and come back soon, because staying loud, focused, and honest has never been more important.